What is going on, tribe, and welcome back to another Galaxy of Heroes video with me, your boy Scribe. How are you all doing? I just want to say that the early game for Galaxy of Heroes has changed drastically since I was a young lad playing Galaxy of Heroes back in 2018 when dinosaurs still walked the earth. I had hair. It's changed a lot. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to my free-to-play account called Scribbles. Scribbles, that's right. So I've been playing just a little over a week's time now, and I've hit level 73. I think I'm on day 9. The very first day, I was able to get all the way up to level 36. 36 in 24 hours. The pace at which you level up now is huge. It used to take like 2.5 months to get to 73, or 2 months and a bit, 2 months and a week, something like that. And I've done it in about 8 or 9 days, something like that. Absolutely flip incredible. And you can see over here, I've got over 1,000 mod energy right now because honestly, I could spend it, but it's not going to give me anything useful, so I would rather hold on to that energy until I can start beating these higher tiers. Unfortunately, these tiers you can't take in an ally. If I could take in an ally, then I would have spent all of that farming speed mods already. Unfortunately, these ones are still a little bit tricky to me. Maybe I can actually beat it at this point. We'll actually have a look at that later. But it's absolutely phenomenal how quickly you can progress at this point. Not only do you get so many quests within your journey guide that give you essentially so much experience points that you hit a brand new level when you complete them, and oftentimes they're like, win a light side battle 12 times, and it will give you like 3,000 experience points. You gain an entire level, and because you gain a new level, you get a new XP tier, a new feat to do, a new quest to do that will give you another level. And that sort of really accelerates your progress super quickly. Now, obviously, there are plus sides and downsides to this. You do get given some daily login rewards, for example. I think I've used up most of mine at this point, but you do get some daily login rewards that sort of help you progress. You can see give you a bunch of ability materials, they give you a bunch of credits. Not only that, they give you some web store stuff, and they also give you a massive sort of welcome to the game pack that just gives you dozens and dozens of characters. Like, there's so much that I got given for free right at the start that I was genuinely at loss as to where to go, and we'll get to that in just a moment. I was also very fortunate enough to actually be here when the Jar Jar event was live, so all the Gungan marquees were available. So I got myself Boss Nass and Boomdir and Phalanx, all that sort of good business, and Tarples as well. Really nice to have all those characters there together. Really happy about that. Now, we also managed to get the rather wonderful marquees of Hera Syndulla, Hu Yang, and Padawan Sabine. Absolutely phenomenal. The downside to it is, of course, that you've got so much characters that you can invest in, but not enough resources to do it. So I want to go over a little bit briefly today about what my plan is to progress going forward. I said early on that I had a couple of goals for this channel. One was to help out a different demographic to the Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes player base. The second is to sort of refresh my memory about what is it like to be a free-to-play player and to be a player that's starting with not much. How can I actually get to a point where I'm beating Conquest, where I'm reliably beating Galactic Challenges? How can I start earning my crystal rewards? How can I start climbing in GAC and finding myself a good guild? All that sort of thing is the sort of progress that I want to track with this particular account. Now, just to be sure, so you guys are aware, I didn't jump into a guild with masses and masses of GP. I'm in a 72 million GP guild at the moment, but I had offers from 400 mil plus guilds for me to go ahead and play today. But I was just it would belittle the experience if I just decided to go into a giant guild and immediately start getting things like Reaver shards and red boxing the new guild raid. I wouldn't be red boxing one of those guilds, but you get the gist. So I don't want to try and boost this unnecessarily. I just want to use my knowledge, what I've gained in game knowledge over the last 6.5 years, and apply it to this free-to-play account. So next up, I want to talk about what is my path right now. What is my path? Well, there were a couple of things that I wanted to do. Based on the starting characters that they gave you, I wanted to go ahead and focus on a Phoenix team. They give you Captain Rex right at the start now, and he's farmable relatively quickly. So having Captain Rex in your team really elevates Phoenix, and Phoenix is able to get you things like Thrawn, it's able to get you things like Emperor Palpatine, and generally speaking, early game, it's very good at clearing Galactic War completely. And ever since day 2, when I hit level 40, I've cleared Galactic War fully from day 1. which is huge. It gives you additional crystals, and it obviously gives you galactic war currency. That currency will help you get character shards and ship shards that you need to build out your roster. So I'm going to build these guys up probably to about gear 8 first and foremost, just so that I can get Thrawn and Palpatine unlocked. Obviously need to get their stars up. So I've been farming their shards and buying their shards with the various currencies like Cantina currency and Galactic War tokens and stuff like that. But you also get given quite a significant number of shards of these characters just through doing your daily feats and stuff like that. They give you a whole lot of them, apart from Captain Rex. You have to, I think they give them to you at 3 stars, and I've farmed them up to 22 shards. Not a load, but it's a start. The other thing that I really wanted to focus on is climbing in Fleet Arena. In order to climb in Fleet Arena, I want to get myself on that Executor train as soon as possible. So I've been working on the 5 bounty hunters that I need for the Executor, but also down here I have been farming the shards for the characters that you need to unlock BAM, because BAM is obviously the pilot of the Razor Crest, and the Razor Crest is a key and pivotal part of the bounty hunter fleet. So I'm working towards that. Bounty hunters up there, Phoenix as well. These are like, I've got a dark side team, I've got a light side team, I've got tertiary, just shard farm, not really gearing, not really leveling up these characters, just sort of keeping them on the back burner. Now, apart from that, I have highlighted some additional things, like the Duel of the Fates characters. I want to get both of these guys up to 5-star and enough gear on them to beat the first tier of Duel of the Fates Assault Battle. The reasoning for that is it gives you a boatload of stuff. You get shards of these characters, so essentially they will start farming themselves, but you also get really good crystals, and obviously later on down the path, the rewards become more and more. You start getting stuff like Kyrotech, and eventually if you get them to R9, you will be getting girder keypads, that sort of thing. Now that's probably not on the cards for me in the early game, but I want to get that ball rolling. Same thing with Peridia Patrol, but the emphasis on this is going to be a little bit less, because this team actually requires some Zetas, and it's not as broadly useful as, say, these 2 Jedi are over here. So I've got Padawan Obi-Wan up to 5-star. He's kind of prepped, as it were, and I'm working on Master Qui-Gon Jinn. I got 1 shard out of the 10 sims I did today. I was very, very sad. Apart from that, a guild focus for us right now is Geonosians, okay? I can't even farm GBA just yet because I need to be like level 83 in order to access his Cantina node, and that's okay. I haven't put any real focus on these characters just yet, but I want to be able to be in a position where I can help the guild get Wat shards. Wat shards will help me because Wat is required for GLs, and he's also just a fantastic plug-and-play character, particularly in the early game, but lasts all the way through until the late game of Galaxy of Heroes. So that's my current focus right now, is get those bounty hunters ready for executors, get Phoenix up to a point where they are self-sustaining and they can unlock some additional legendaries for me to help build out my teams, or at least give me some options on where to develop. So if I ever want to go down the path of, you know, getting CLS at some point, if I want to go down the path of doing like a C build, so heading towards C, getting Emperor Palpatine, getting Piet, stuff like that, obviously is still required as part of the as part of the executor bundle. I have got him. Piet, I have got him favorited at the moment, but obviously the shards have been short to come by at the moment. So all that sort of good business is sort of slowly progressing for me, very slowly progressing, but it's not in too bad of a place. There are some concerns, obviously. There are some concerns. For example, I've got no training droids. I can't level up anything. This is part of the problem. They give you enough gold. I've got enough credits, essentially, to level up some characters. I've got a quest that I need to get 3 dark side characters to level 73. I have enough gold to make that happen, but what I don't have is enough training droids to make that happen. So maybe something for CG to take back there is probably maybe give players a little bit more training droids, because it is impossible to actually level up your characters at a decent pace. I did all the Phoenix up to 71. I probably could have saved 2 of them and left them at lower levels. Like you can see, Kanan over here is only 61, in fact. I could have maybe saved some of that to help get these guys up to 73, but hey, hindsight is 20/20, as they say. But it does raise the more pertinent issue of fleet. Because you hit level 60 so very, very quickly, you do not have anything for fleet. And most importantly, what you don't have is fleet currency. I actually have training droids for fleet, but I have absolutely no currency whatsoever. This is such short supply. Your shipbuilding materials, your fleet currency is so hard to come by at the start, you can barely level anything up. So I've obviously focused only exclusively on some of the characters or some of the ships that I've actually got built. So I've taken my Slave 1 to level 60, for example. I've also put some investment in the Ghost. I put some investment in the Phantom, which I regret because I don't use that anymore, the TIE Advanced, and the TIE Bomber. And the reason I did the TIE Bomber is because they give it to you at 5 stars, but more importantly, it is a pilotless ship. So as long as it's got levels, its capabilities are only going to be tied to its levels and its star. So early on, the pilotless ships are probably a very, very solid investment. The only issue with them is, of course, is that they are they're just tanks, realistically speaking. Yes, you do have the Vulture Droid, for example, which is not a tank, it is an attacker, but I hadn't thought of farming that up until recently. So I'm probably actually going to start farming the Vulture Droid, just because it gives me options of having a more powerful fleet early on without having to invest in an actual character as well. So the Imperial TIE Bomber has actually been a bit of a godsend, truth be told. It's the only reason I'm able to survive certain battles. Fleet climbing is an absolute mess because obviously there are a bunch of people in my shards that are whales. I'm in the wrong place over here. Lots of people in the shard that are whales that have just, got a lot bigger investment in stuff over here. And that's really, really evident to see when you look at Squad Arena. We'll take a look at that in just one second. So you can see the people around me have got a little bit more GP. Actually, these guys aren't too bad. We might be able to actually beat these guys and climb a little bit higher. We could try that in a second. But if we take a look at the arena, the Squad Arena, you can see that Lightspeed bundles do dominate the top end of arena. Thankfully, this isn't as big of a deal as it used to be because look at this. This arena is like a week old, and we've got someone that's got 3.5 million GP basically. But you can see Slacker and Slacker and Slacker and Dash. This guy obviously bought that the recent Lightspeed bundles that were in the game, and then you've got some crews and you've got some Gideons. All of these relic characters. Clearly the product of Lightspeed bundles, but it's not really a big deal. Like I said, there's no real impetus for you to climb into the top 10, the top 5, top position in Squad Arena. So I'm quite happily chilling over here in 1400th place, which is a weird way of thinking about things. I don't really want to take on that Iden team. I think that Iden team will Shrek me. I think I might be able to beat this Phoenix team. Everybody loves Phoenix, right? This guy isn't using Captain Rex, so we'll find out now. Captain Rex is so very valuable just because of his unique to be able to call assists, and I feel like that's going to be the edge for me to... well, maybe we actually try and take out Chopper here. The edge for me to just deal more damage than my opponent is, essentially. Just try and take out Chopper if we can. Unfortunately, his Hera did manage to get out the... the backup plan on Chopper, but if we can defeat him twice, that is going to remove quite a bit of his healing capabilities. Let's just look to do some of this. And of course, Kanan is now taunting, which does make life a little bit trickier. But I'm confident overall that I have enough damage output to deal with these guys. I need to get around the Kanan, because the Kanan's basically going to out-heal for the most part until I get rid of some of the enemies over here. He does have a 2-turn taunt. So you can see how he's just tanking it away. Oh, don't you miss Phoenix v Phoenix mirror matches, guys? Don't you miss them? I know I do. I know. Ooh, we might actually just straight out defeat Kanan now. Come on. I don't want to use that mass assist. There we go. We've gotten rid of Kanan. And now it should realistically be a very easy job of clearing up, because without Kanan, they're not going to counterattack. They've lost one of their taunts, and we're just going to put it on full auto. Hey, jobs are good 'un. Jobs are good 'un. C-Rex makes a big difference to a Phoenix capabilities. They were higher geared than I was, about the same level. But I have Captain Rex for the mass assists, so that kind of works. Obviously, we're not talking anything great shakes here. That crew team is probably impossible for me to beat right now because we'll just barely touch them in terms of damage output, and they'll just heal up from all the debuffs that we're doing. But there we go. Overall, I'm pleasantly surprised about how the early game has changed. It's made it a lot better experience, but there are just a couple of niggling bits that are sort of hampering people's enjoyment and progress. If we just had a little bit more fleet currency income, if we had a little bit more in the income for training droids, I think that this process here will be absolutely brilliant and will really, really accelerate people's performance and their trajectory through that early game, getting to level 85 so they can experience some of the actual game. overall, I'm just mostly incredibly surprised at how quickly you level up now. Anyway, let me know what your thoughts are on how I'm going to progress on this free-to-play account. I will be doing videos on various milestones and my overall farming progress and how we are progressing to the goals of this channel. So, let me know in the comment section down below. Make sure you like before you go. I'll see you all in the very next video. Peace out, and may the Force be with you.